It's just good. It's like, don't judge my clients.
How old are they? Are they the same age?
Yeah, they're
Some reason.
3 weeks apart.
Oh, okay.
Well, my niece is yay tall and 85 pounds, and my son's as tall as I am and about 140 pounds.
Oh,
I didn't get a chance to meet you.
oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Todd.
Todd Thurber, nice meeting you. I met you with DLZ and.
They just keep the reports and everything.
Yeah.
I met I went to the Fremont Council meeting and it's like the DLC agendas just keep going. I'm like sewers and roads and pickleball courts and I didn't know what else was on there.
Yeah, they asked us, they want to do a pickleball court, so it's.
Well, might as well, they're everywhere.
They are.
So what is the difference between a pickleball court and a tennis ball court?
Make different rules, size.
Yeah, you could basically fit 2 pickleball courts on 1 tennis court. But they're very.
They don't have the one on East yet.
Yeah.
There's what, 2 tennis courts there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So already you got 4 pickleball
Are you
courts.
talking about the, that's.
Offensive,
Yeah. Yeah, what has them.
Yeah, because
And all the condos converted.
there's the Catholic Church put they've got, they did basketball and pickleball up there.
Well, there's several people that are living with driveways out here.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
on, was.
yeah, over on
Yeah,
your bus.
yeah.
Some have a portable that you could just.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, and you know,
There's a couple of them on South that have gotten, they drag them out of their garage.
yeah,
I was trying to figure out, somebody looked like he was dragging fish net out one day. I'm like, what the world are you doing? I go by a little while.
oh, yeah, right. They're unstringing the net, like back in the day.
Howdy, everyone.
I can't.
Exactly.
How are you?
Good, all right.
How was your trip?
pretty good.
I don't know, I wonder the same thing. Yes. Yeah, things work in mysterious
Yeah,
ways, don't they?
well, I sort of got the same thing, you know. Why? It's the unknown,
Yeah.
you know.
It'll get there, it's. Full house or an empty house. Happy and Tom, we'll get you guys reserved seats or something.
Oh, we got
And Robert has the right one loaded into the.
No.
Yeah, no. Yeah, okay, so when you,
Thank you.
we'll go through that. Thank you.
I'll ignore it.
Yeah, do you have an extra one?
Yeah.
Oh. Thank you so much.
Found another one too.
Air or? Did you?
He paid for one grinder pump that was repaired and not the whole stack of invoices, because they don't invoice them all together, they invoice them as each individual pump. I didn't notice that one earlier.
Or maybe you can. Get it corrected in 5 minutes, or we'll just sign. it Corrected.
One more.
Now that you've got copies made for everybody.
So the CDM one. You only paid. I'm here. So there's each pump. We've got like 4 minutes. So you only paid one invoice. Which would have been 7 invoices. Oh, okay. It wouldn't have been done with it. So. No, DLC. Only bills. Figure out.
Don't start with it now.
Sorry.
It's all right. Now 3 of us will be on email. You get it.
Let's sleep well last night.
This fall break for the kids, is it? coming up?
Starts tomorrow.
Does it? Oh, okay.
What is it? Fall break.
Fall break.
You're in Michigan, it don't matter.
On a Wednesday, it's work on a Wednesday. They get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, 3 days.
Pretty,
Good deal.
pretty certain, the kid said something about he was going to the office of mom on shred papers.
They're all fun, they're different.
Okay.
Is that all today? Yeah, they had like a teacher day, I think on a Friday, like 2 weeks ago or whatever, it was the day off also. And so Michigan, we did ours. Week before.
How many they get off in Michigan?
Well, I was just a teacher.
A teacher like conferences or.
So Coldwater, we do this with they have an early release day, which before COVID, it was on Fridays. Great, you know, kids get out a little earlier on Friday. Fridays or the weekend. Well, when COVID hit, they switched it to a Wednesday, so that way. They could close the schools down to sanitize the schools and then but they never changed it back. So now parents gotta deal with early release on Wednesdays. So last week it was early release Wednesday and then they had Friday off, where like Quincy had half a day on Thursday and then it's Friday off.
So it's not consistent even by the county.
No, because it's
By
like
school.
school district.
Well, around here, they try to at
I
least keep
think I
the
printed
county
all seven, say it together, do you?
generally.
Oh, because see, if you look in your emails, because they should have been, I should have forwarded them to you also. And it'll have, you'll end up with like 7 emails from CEM as an individual invoice for each one.
Yeah, like the last couple of years, they've done a teacher day.
I'm pretty, I thought we do it all, put in the months, there's today.
One, so instead of doing Friday or Labor Day, but.
So if you got.
Get it out Monday.
They label them from 1
Next
to
2, 3 days, or another day.
because it had the invoice number.
Actually, it's far, if we get too long, we can.
I'm watching. I want
The number was they raised.
Oh, really? Yeah.
7 P.M. We'll call the regular scheduled council meeting to order. We'll start with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Robert, will I give you the instructions? Bill, just in case.
Yeah. Those are you joining us at Zoom. Make sure if you have a public comment, use the reaction button or the comments to put your all that. Then, as always, we have features in the ceiling. So keep some public comment down so we can hear on the recording, and then just for the members, make sure your microphone's on when you're talking and you're speaking towards it. That's it.
And now we'll do introductions of members, Guy, no start.
Yeah, right, here's your utility superintendent.
Dan Rippey, 126 Lakeside Court, Ward 2.
Bert Elliott, 1058 South Clear Lake Drive, Ward 3.
Molly Weber, 822 South Clear Lake Drive, member at large.
Brent Slosser, 95 Pennant Drive, member at large.
George Schenkel, 144 West Clear Lake Drive, Ward 1.
Chris Emmer, Town Marshal. Robert Polly, Zone Administrator.
Nathan Striker, Clerk Treasurer, 783 South Clear Lake Drive.
Thanks, everybody. You've all seen the proposed agenda. Do we have a motion to move forward with the agenda as published?
George, I move that we accept the agenda as published.
Second,
This is Dan. I'll second that.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move forward. The minutes from the September 19th meeting that Nathan has posted and shared with everybody. If there are there any corrections or edits?
No.
No, hearing none. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes from the September 19th meeting?
This is Dan. I make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
And can we have a second?
George, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion carries. Nathan, if you could present the October voucher and register.
Absolutely. The October voucher runs from September 19th through October 16th. On the general side, there's 44 transactions for a total of $85,006.24. On the sewer side, 18 transactions for $72,960.11. Things to note on this voucher were the Tri-Star pipe grinders that we ordered for $38,250. That was approved, I believe, 2 council meetings ago. Also, we have the NO environmental, I don't know exactly what those are, but
It's the bio blocks and the citrus clean and the searches.
CEM, me and guys just talked about that. I'm gonna check on those invoices, but there's just one on here and there should be six more coming. So I can send out a copy of those invoices when I get them to you guys, so you can see those. And there was a few other changes that were made. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Any questions for Nathan on voucher?
You have some? I have a couple. So at the top of the form, Nathan, it says it's from period 9/19 to 10/16. So there were no transactions between 9/19 and 9/28. Is that a correct assumption?
I'll have to go back and look, but yeah, that could be possible.
Okay, and then the 10/16, I noticed we're out to 10/18 on this report. Could it be 10/18? I'm just looking up here, the period of performance.
I don't know.
We have several inquiries that are on here, October 18th, and it's only saying it runs through the 16th.
Oh, yeah, these are for the lawyers, so I don't write them. Check until we get it approved here.
We just need to revise the top to say through the 18th then.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
Formality.
Yep.
Just.
yeah, I'll write those checks up the day after the council, because I want you guys to see the lawyer bills, DLC, things like that, so I don't write those out until after council meeting.
Okay, so voucher, specifically voucher number 19429, September 21st. It's listed as radar signs, 3250.
Yes.
That should not be against the general fund as listed here. That's should be against lit equipment and repairs.
I'll make that change.
And you have that against lit down below, you have another radar sign, so that's kind of what flips me off on this.
That may be because we ran out of funds in the radar sign appropriation. So I may have used a different appropriation to cover the rest of those signs.
I would look into that because I don't think that's appropriate, just to mark the expense against a fund that it wasn't intended to cover. We should do an additional appropriation if you're out of.
Okay.
So let's take a look at that.
All right.
Voucher number 19441, Mid-Solve. I was just curious, your note says it's a past due bill from 2022, so we're 10 months into 2023. How did we understanding that?
Mid-Sol sent me an invoice with a past due invoice from last year. So I paid the past due invoice and the result was some work that they had done. So that's what that invoice is from. Then down below, you'll see another one for $567 for this month. Every month their invoice is $567. So I don't know why or how it got missed in 2022, but I made up for it.
So can I get a copy of that?
Sure.
I just want to make sure that I want to see what it was for. I guess.
Sure.
I hope it's detailed to do that. Voucher 19490, core promo.
Yes.
Are we doing uniforms for the office?
We talked about this, I think, in June or July, ordering sweatshirts for me, Jen, and Robert.
So those are town of Clear Lake.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks for that reminder. 19502, the Angola canvas boat canopy.
Yes.
I was surprised. What's a boat canopy?
It got damaged in one of the storms this summer, so we took it in to get repaired. They said it can't be on repair, they needed to buy a new one. I got with Nate on it and there was enough money in the Marine Patrol Fund. We buy that, it was $750, it's actually in the garage now, so it'll actually be used for next year.
Okay,
The whole door got
But that-
hit.
Yeah,
so that is actually the boat lift canopy.
yes, that's the canopy for the boat lift, yes, sorry. That one we had, I think, was original to, so it was probably 20 years old or so, yeah, so they couldn't fix it.
Just for next month, would you start copying me on the attorney invoices? I used to get copies, and I'd just like to see the detailed charges on
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Yeah, maybe send those out to all of us, Nathan, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I think historically it's gone to the entire council, so if you could reinstate that, that'd be great.
Yeah,
There's always some learnings in there on what the conversations are. so.
I might have missed it this month, but I thought in the past I had been. No, okay, I can easily do that, no problem.
The two DLZ, again, I would take exception to the general fund name for those. Those are really in the CCD.
And that might be my mistake, because I'm not putting down, I'm putting, it says general, but yes, it's coming out of CCD, but I put it, it's coming out of the general side, it's not on the sewer side. And I can specify that, I don't know, if you like.
It says fund in the column, so I'm assuming that's the fund name that you're planning to charge it against. Okay, so that's. And really, I think I need to start seeing those in this particular budget for 2023. The CCMG project was spread across a number of different funds. So you probably should just let me see what the actual invoice detail is. And I'll help you target those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions on the voucher? I asked mine, Brent, anything? No? Great.
No.
All right, so do we have a motion to accept the presented voucher with corrections? Have a motion?
This is Bert. I move that we accept the current voucher with corrections.
And a second?
George, I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the voucher as presented with corrections signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Now we'll go to new business. We're going to go to the 24 budget voucher. So I think what we need to do is we'll need a motion to read the ordinance or resolution 2020-19. So if I could have a motion for Nathan to read. Oh, did you?
I can make.
That would be great.
Yeah, so I'll just introduce it that council, approved passing the budget onto adoption during the public September regular council session. We have ordinance resolution 2023-19 for appropriations and tax rates prepared for consideration by council. And I move to introduce the ordinance / resolution for appropriations and tax rates.
Great, and can I have a second?
George, I'll second the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. Nathan, if you could please read the ordinance.
Yes. Ordinance or resolution for appropriations and tax rates. Ordinance resolution number 2023-19. Be it ordained, resolved by the Clear Lake Town Council that for the expenses of Clear Lake Civil Town for the year ending December 31st, 2024, the sums herein specified are hereby appropriated and ordered set apart out of several funds herein named and for the purposes herein specified, subject to the laws governing the same. Such sums herein appropriated shall be held to include all expenditures authorized to be made during the year, unless otherwise expressly stipulated and provided by law. In addition, for the purposes of raising revenue to meet the necessary expenses of Clear Lake Civil Town, the property tax levies and property tax rates as hearings specified are included herein. Budget Form 4B for all funds must be completed and submitted in the manner prescribed by the Department of Local Government Finance. This ordinance resolution should be in full force and effective from and after its passage and approval by the Clear Lake Town Council. Funds 0061 rainy day, adopted budget 0, adopted tax levy 0, adopted tax rate 0. General, adopted budget $475,939, adopted tax levy $183,824, adopted tax rate 0.0558. Fund 0254 local income tax, adopted budget $61,800, adopted tax levy 0, adopted tax rate 0. Fund 0706 local road and street, adopted budget 10,000, adopted tax levy 0, adopted tax rate 0. Fund 0708 motor vehicle highway, adopted budget $117,676, adopted tax levy $104,354, adopted tax rate 0.0317. 0720 major moves, toll road counties. 0 budget, 0 adopted tax levy, 0 adopted tax rate. 1151 continuing education, 0 adopted budget, 0 adopted tax levy, 0 tax rate. 2391 cumulative capital development, adopted budget $227,500, adopted tax levy $173,560, adopted tax rate 0.0448. 2411 economic development income tax credit, adopted budget $23,600, adopted tax levy 0, adopted tax rate 0. Adopted budget $917,195, adopted tax levy $461,738, adopted tax rate 0.1323.
Thank you, Nathan.
If you could skip over 2379, or would you just reread that?
2379, cumulative capital improvement cigarette tax, adopted budget $680, adopted tax levy 0, adopted tax rate 0. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. We've had the ordinance read to us. Now, if we could have a motion to adopt the ordinance or resolution 2023-19, please.
George, I move that we adopt ordinance resolution number 2023-19.
And a second.
I was going to, no, second, I was going to suggest we open it up for public comment.
Oh, okay. So we have.
We already have a motion on the table.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
No, you're fine.
We already have a motion on the table. The motion needs to be removed. We're going to open it up to the public.
So we'll remove the motion. And do we have a motion? Do we have a motion to open up for public comment?
Yeah, I would move to open for public comment and question.
And do we have a second to open for public comment? We have a motion. Second.
Mrs. Brenneth, second, Dan.
You. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Public, Kathy, Susie, Tom. Questions, comments?
And hearing none, I move to close public comment.
And do we have a?
This is Bert, I'll second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we'll move forward. If we could have a motion to adopt the ordinance and resolution 2023-19 as read by Nathan.
Mrs. President, I think we need to have a second reading.
Do we? Okay. That had passed. Okay. Thank you very much for the correction. So, Nathan, if you, okay, we would maybe.
I would move to suspend the rules of order, allowing for a second reading by title only.
And a second.
George, I'll second the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none. Nathan, if you could read the ordinance by title only, please.
Ordinance or resolution for appropriations and tax rates. Ordinance resolution number 2023-19. How hard to read this one?
No. That's fine. Thank you, Nathan. So now that we've had our 2 readings, second reading by title, although if we could have a motion to adopt the ordinance. Now that the 2 readings are complete.
George, I'll try it again.
Yeah.
I move that we adopt ordinance resolution number 2023-19 as presented.
A second,
And this is Dan, I'll second that motion.
and we will have a roll call vote on this. Okay, then if you could lead that, please.
Yes, Molly Weber. Nay, or abstain?
All right, and I approve it. Yes.
Yes.
Aye.
Russ Lester, nay, or abstain?
Approved.
Dan Rippey, nay, or abstain?
A.
A. George Schinkle, nay, or abstain?
Hey.
Bert Elliott, nay, or abstain?
Hey.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. Our budget has been approved. I want to thank all the department heads and George and Dan and Nathan for all your work on this. I know you guys have been working since summer on this, so thank you, everybody, who worked so diligently on this one.
I want to thank Dan and George.
I'm just out of hand with the true team effort, so yeah.
Wow, okay.
Everybody carried a nice chunk. I think, yeah,
Thank you.
good work.
And now unfinished business. We have nothing there, so we'll move on to monthly reports. And Nathan, you're up with your financial report, please.
Yeah, financial reports, I have the bond appropriation and revenue reports on file. One thing that we will be looking at in the treasurer's office is, I'm not gonna get into numbers or figures, but with the inflationary environment that we have found ourselves in this country, banks have been raising their deposit rates. So I'm gonna be looking at doing some CDs or something like that to get our money working for us. So that's something that I've been thinking about. I've been pretty busy with the budget and just getting everything done, as far as that goes, getting Bert all up and running. He's got his iPad and his email secretary. That's kind of what I've been up to in the last month. Any questions about any of the financial reports, feel free to let me know.
And Chris, I think you're up with the marshal's report.
Month of September, we worked a total of 136.5 hours, had miles driven of 628, and the monthly aquatic hours for September were 11.5 hours. Police Department investigated 5 cases. 6 cases, sorry. Sheriff's Office investigated 4 cases with the town, within the town, and 5 cases within the township. Police Department had 8 boat contacts. We had 16 traffic contacts, 2 arrests, and 2 vehicle inspections. Patrol boat was taken out of the water at the beginning of October, and it's been stored in the town garage. And all the radar signs are back in operation and up and functioning. As far as the police department, we had 1 criminal mischief, 1 theft, 1 suspicious, 2 traffic offenses, and 1 fraud. Kind of touched on some of the cases we had. I did notice a trend on East Clear Lake Drive for the month of August and Labor Day weekend of September. We had a criminal mischief of a mailbox, theft of the mailbox, theft of the radar sign, and then there were several trash cans that were dumped over. Those all occurred on a Sunday night, early Monday morning timeframe. We started increasing patrols in that area. We didn't have any more issues in that area, so I think instead of the increased patrols, maybe deterrent, I think it was probably somebody that was up during that time frame. I would probably say a kid or juveniles. But after Labor Day, we get everything stopped. So, I mean, it could have been an adult, but kind of maybe towards kids or something like that. That somebody down there on the East Clear Lake Drive area or that area, is reading that increased calls for service there. For the sheriff's office in the town, we had 1 alarm, 1 mental problem, and 2 death investigations. Those were both non-criminal in nature. As far as the township, there were 2 juvenile problems, 2 suspicious, and 1 citizen dispute.
Thank you. Any, yeah, go ahead.
Just have the two arrests, anything nature that we should be concerned about?
No, those were both traffic related where the drivers didn't have driver's licenses.
Okay. Very good. Thank you, Chris.
Fire report. Frank.
For the month of September, we had a total of 8 incidences within the town of Clear Lake. We had 1 mutual aid, we had 5 medical assist, we had 1 fire alarm, 1 CO2 investigation. Within the Clear Lake Township, we had 2, and those were both medical assist. No areas of concern at this time.
Any questions for Brent on fire? Thank you, Brent. Robert, you're up with the zoning.
Okay, I have 5 ILPs issued for the month, up to 34 for the year. Still 1 after the fact, and 4 ILPs not needed maintenance stuff. Plan commission, our next meeting is 11/6. We still have the rezoning that was postponed on the table. And then also the note for the planning commission, I didn't put it on here, but the UDO change 2023-01 has been posted for public feedback, which is sponsored by George Schinkel. So BZA, we had a meeting 10/10/2023. Both variance requests were from Todd and Barbara Ramsey. There were development variances, established the setback in the horizontal protected view shed requests. Both of them were approved. Other than that, nothing else to add.
Hey, Robert, when are we gonna have our first drainage board meeting? I noticed that we have some of these approved ILPs will have drainage plans associated with them.
Yeah.
Have you thought about it? I'm not holding you accountable, but it was a suggestion.
No,
I'm just curious if you intend to convene a drainage.
yeah, trying to talk with the guy and get a thing on that.
Yeah.
Figure out how that process.
So for council,
Please.
just to put into context, drainage has been probably one of the single greatest challenges that we've had. There's a long history of drainage issues, the drainage challenges that the road committee has taken on. We continue to learn how some decisions that are being made in new construction projects aren't necessarily the best approach for drainage. So I went to Robert and suggested that on future construction projects that we just get together with the drainage board. The drainage board consists of myself, Guy, and Robert, and then we can pull in Todd as necessary. And then I can bring it to the road committee too for areas that actually affect road projects. So that's the context behind it.
Thank you. Yeah.
So would that be a review as part of approving the permits?
So there'd be a process similar to what you've done with the road committee and some of the processes. It could be kind of a drainage board. I know Indiana has, all their drainage.
It's a formal name, but basically we're just trying to drive consistency in the way that we approach our drainage, particularly with driveways and lot to lot kind of drainage. So.
Thank you. Yeah, Brent.
This question probably going to be for both of you, and Nate and I want to make Chris and Robert aware we had received a complaint and concern from a property owner on the work being done on roofs and repairs from the hail damage or the storms. That those contractors don't necessarily have a porta potty or a place for the workers to use a restroom. We were asked if they are required to have a porta potty on site. And the other concern that I think we need to make Chris aware of is people were using the restroom evidently across the street and in other areas, and they did not feel that that was right. So I want to make sure we're bringing that to your attention. Robert, would you be able to update us so we can update the citizen on if it is required to have a porta potty on site? So we can make him aware if it is or it isn't. That was one of his major questions.
Typically, when people come in for an ILP, we go through that whole process with them and making sure they have adequate facilities, but for roofing and siding, they don't come to us at all. Other than ask, because we don't require a permit for it. So, I mean, the short answer is yes, they should be providing that for their contractors, even if they don't get an ILP. And I mean,
On my aspect of it, so there's no law that says you cannot go to the bathroom outside. However, if you're exposing your genitalia to the public and somebody's able to see it, then it would be indecent exposure. However, if they're, I guess, there could be a trespassing issue if they're going onto somebody else's property to say to urinate. So it would be a possible trespassing complaint. It could be a possible indecent exposure complaint if they are exposing themselves when they're using the restroom to the public. So I guess it depends on where they're going and whose property it's on and how they're doing that. So.
And if they're not wanting to do a porta potty, they certainly need to open up their house to other people, facilities or something.
Anything else for Robert?
Me and Guy did talk about this issue though, and trying to maybe, head that problem off in the future. As long as we don't have any more hail damage around here and stuff, that probably mitigate itself, but still, it's a problem that was shown because of the excessiveness, the weather we've had.
Any other questions for Robert? No? Okay, thank you, Robert. You're up.
And for time wise, for the month, I worked a total of 170 hours. Brody worked 169. Issued 2 road cut permits, 1 demo permit, and 4 letters of non-objection. We did 7 in the sewer department. We had 72 locates, 5 alarm calls. We replaced 1 grinder, repaired 9, and set up 0 new ones. We have 11 pumps set up and ready to go in the system. 12 that we just received in are still boxed up, and we have 7 remanufactured, which gives us a total of 30 pumps on hand. At an average daily flow of 50,509 gallons per day. The sewer truck drove a total of 279 miles this month, and the street truck was 245 miles.
Any questions for?
I have some questions, but if you would, I'll defer till tomorrow or Thursday rather than taking time now. It's just regarding pump counts and the new ones, and we had 12 before, and we got 12 new ones, and the number's still 12. So
there's 11 of the new ones that have been set up. That was the part of the original 12. We received 12 more. And we had 7 remanufactured ones come back. So that gives us a total of 30 pumps.
Right. Like I said, we could go round and round, but if you look at the prior month's numbers, it was 10 already set up, 12 in the box. And so now we have 11 already set up, and you said we had 12 new ones. But we already had 12 in the box and 12 more. Should be 24 boxed up.
No, because those were still boxed and we ran out of the pumps that we had set up the previous month, and Brody just set these all up.
Okay. Well, let me go through like I said, let's just get together because they're gonna have to just swap some numbers and some detail on it. I don't think it's appropriate to take the council's time to do that. So I'll catch you either tomorrow afternoon or Thursday.
Any other questions for Guy? I just want to thank Guy and Robert, and Dan for the follow-up with the Woodwards on their, calls that we received. So thank you for following up with them directly. I appreciate that. Now we'll open it up to council member reports. Anybody have any?
I've got a couple
Yeah,
of
please.
updates. First of all, the 2023 CCMG project, just a brief status. API and DLZ are just doing a fabulous job, so hats off to them. They remain on track to meet the substantial complete date of 10/19, so that's only a couple of days off. Substantially complete really means all the base asphalt down and through all the excavation of our roads. And that's a big milestone for us because the excavation was, there was some risk associated with it, with discovery. We were concerned about some soft spots. We did find a couple of soft spots on West Clear Lake Drive, but the design approach mitigated the problem there with the geogrid, so we were happy about that. And all of the stone is proof rolled at 60,000 pounds. So when we get through that step of putting stone down, we've got a good road base from which to lay our asphalt. So kudos to them for working through it. And so the remaining work yet to complete after this week is complete the excavation and the seeding of all the swales. Todd and I and Guy walked one last time before we actually start scooping dirt. We walked and pointed to where all the swales were, what the specific design intent was for those swales. So we've got that in place. Then after that's done, we're going to do the finish asphalt coat. We want to wait till the very end on that just to protect it from any other vehicles that might be involved with the excavation. We don't want to mark up our brand new roads. And then after the final coat is put in place, we'll do the minor restoration, whatever crews need to get out there with rakes and whatever, clean it all up. So, and then we'll be done. So looking forward to that. Any questions? Got time in the room. The other report out I would like to make is with regards to the road committee. So the road committee delivered its draft road policy. We have read it with council comments, so I appreciate those. And then we posted it on our webpage for public to take a look at. And all of that means is we're on target as promised to bring it to council for adoption in November. We this last period completed the draft process. Within that road policy, it calls for council to approve any resident who wants to connect to the drainage system or component thereof. And so we worked a draft process for that purpose. It includes a process and an application. I've gotten the front line review from Robert and Guy on that, rolled their comments in, and then also reviewed it with the road committee. So I was trying to get it out to council just to get your eyes on it, but it is available, and I'll get it to you this week. We completed our look forward, the road committee, there's been discussion in the past about, are we gonna continue the road committee or not? I've never deliberately answered that because I wanted to have clear objectives if we did choose to move forward. And so the road committee worked up what its objectives would be if we council so chooses to approve continuing them. In 2024, we would like to increase the intimacy and communication with residents. A lot of words there, but really what does that mean? Is to make a deliberate attempt to capture some of the historical knowledge that's contained within our residents about our roads. So that would help us make better decisions and improve access for residents to ask their questions and voice concerns. We're feeling like residents don't necessarily want to show up at a council meeting, and the formality of that may keep questions from getting asked. So we want to create a safe environment for folks to come and talk to us about their concerns. The second objective would be to oversee the implementation of the town of Clear Lake road policy. This assumes that council will vote favorably to adopt it. And what's kind of contained in that one is training the town and its elected officials and employees on their roles and responsibilities. Answering the stakeholder process related questions. So we would, after training, we would be available to answer any questions that come up through the next year. We would be the reminder to stakeholders. If for those who have read it, there's a lot of detail. It's laid out on a month-by-month basis. So we would be reminding the stakeholders when they had something that needed their attention that month. We would manage the road policy updates. There's clearly, we took that the initial draft is 85% there. We didn't shoot for 100%. So we know that there's, through use, going to be lessons learned and updates that need to be made. So that's what the road committee would manage. And then we would collect and implement lessons learned into the road policy. So, we also felt that it would be helpful that if we developed kind of a question and answer blog on the web page. This would, there was a little bit of we find ourselves answering a lot of similar questions. So year over year, since we're going to typically be doing road projects, we thought having a blog that we could just capture questions and answers that folks could go to as a first stop. So that was also on my list of objectives. So given that, it was a nice list in my opinion, and I would move that council approve continuing the road committee through December 2024 with the same members.
Do we have a second?
Sure, I'll second the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Hearing none. No, I think it's fabulous, and I think extend all of, council's appreciation for everything they are all doing. And Guy and you for working with them all.
Yep.
That's great. I think the consistency of having the same people makes a lot of sense. That's all, Dan. Anybody else have anything? I don't remember reports.
I have two items to go over regarding human resources. One, it's that time of year for annual reviews. In the next week, I'll be getting out to the individuals that have employees reporting to them a review letter and the historic document that we've used for performance reviews. I'll be coming out to individual managers next week. Also, Nathan and I will be working on the 2024 salary, wage, and benefit ordinance. And as soon as we get that drafted, we will, be getting it prepared for November, town council meeting.
Anything else?
No, Chris is responsible for the deputies.
Yeah.
That can have you done, yeah, okay.
Thanks for the reminder. I'm sorry. I just, want to, first of all, thank all the employees for getting all the documents in for tonight's meeting. And having it all uploaded in advance of our meeting and not getting it the day of the meeting. That was helpful for me, and I'm sure it was for all the other council members. So thank you, to all of you for doing that. Also, general little reminder, trick or treat is October 31st from 5 to 7. So have your lights on or off if you don't want trick or treaters. And if you're out on the roads, please be careful. There will be, hopefully we'll have better weather than we did last year. And I think that is all I have. Anything, anybody else have any? All right, so general discussion. Kathy, Susie, Todd. Hearing none. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our regular meeting for October.
So moved.
And a second.
George, I'll second the motion.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none. Meeting is adjourned.
I'm not gonna have anybody sign.
And can you let us know when we